All right, what's up, everyone? It is Sunday, September 1st, 2024. It's the MMAOB Daily Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Adam Martin, and I'm joined by my co-host here, Mr. Big Marcel. We got a good show coming up for you guys here, live from St. John's, Newfoundland, Marcel. I'm in a weird time zone here, an hour and a half difference from my home. What is it, 4.5 from you? Is that what it is? It's freaking weird, man. So we had to get that all scheduled. It's 3 different time zones we're working with here. Eastern, where I'm based, and then this Newfoundland time zone, and then whatever your time zone is called. We always make it work. We always have to make it work. And Marcel's got 2 hours here before he has to go watch. What are you watching? Ajax? Are they playing or?
No, just some English Premier League football.
Cool. No worries, man. All right, so we have a good show for you guys. We're going to talk UFC Vegas 97, Burns versus Brady. We're going to break down the entire card. I think there's 12 fights. Let me count it, actually. Is it 12 or 13? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13 fights. Oh, they added the last fight. That's why. So 13 fights to break down. Then we'll recap contender series from last week, which I'm sure there's a lot to talk about with the post-fight press conference. That feels like it was 2 weeks ago. It was actually this week.
Yeah, crazy, right? Yeah.
And then we'll preview the next one. And then we'll talk a little bit about Bellator. We'll throw that in at the end. So we have a good show for you guys. But I've been on this trip for about a week now, Marcel. It's been great. Really enjoyed myself here, man. I'm going to crack open a beer. So this is a Stella. Cheers, Marcel.
Yeah, enjoy.
But I've been drinking this Newfoundland beer called Iceberg beer that James Lynch told me to drink. It's been delicious. It's like lighter beer. They only sell it here in Newfoundland. They don't sell it back home in Ontario. So I was looking at actually bringing some, but you can't bring drinks on the plane. And I looked at shipping; it's like $50 to ship it. So I'm like, fuck, I just gotta get drinking some here and then just enjoy it and remember what it's like. But that was delicious beer. It's been a good trip, man. I've been eating good. I've did a bunch of tours. It's been awesome. So I've had a good time, Marcel. But dude, we never miss the podcast. We never miss it. I don't remember the last time we missed a week, to be honest with you, Marcel. Every time I've been on a trip or you've been away, we've always ended up doing it. So always love doing it with you, man. How you doing, man? How you holding?
I'm doing well, man. I mean, no UFC event on Saturday. I mean, I don't, like I said, man. My preparation is like 3 events a month and one week off. So
I love it. I love it, dude.
We have 2 weeks off actually, so it's kind of but. I think it's okay. I understand the thing is, like, most fans are not working, so it's for them, it's time to relax. But for me, it's actually, I like watching it, obviously it's my hobby and my work. But at the same time, I'm happy to have a Saturday off sometimes, you know what I mean? And definitely in the middle of the night. So, yeah.
Dude, why do you think I chose this week to go away? I mean, it was the perfect time, obviously with my job at bookies, like I do write about UFC, but I write a lot about NFL, and we're starting the NFL season this week. So I'm going to be busy as fuck for the next 4 months or so. It's going to be crazy, and I needed a break. So I'm really glad I took it now. And I'm with you. I mean, we've talked about this a lot. Listen, me, Marcel, and I, and everyone in this chat. I mean, if you guys are in this chat, you love MMA. We all love MMA here. But let's face it, there's a lot of MMA to consume, and it is nice to have that week off. So we've talked about this. In a perfect world, Marcel, it'd be the 1 pay-per-view and 2 fight nights, and then a week off. I think that's the best way to do it. Now, I don't think the UFC is going to be doing that. I think I think they might even add cards. I think it'll be even more cards next year. But especially with the roster, if you look at it, it's very bloated right now. All these Dana White contender series. They sign 5 guys every week, right? So, and they've cut a few fighters. We could talk about the cuts actually after if you want. They cut my girl Pandy Kanzad. I was sad to see it, Marcel. After a fucking war, and they cut her. So,
bro, I was happy I didn't saw Yarno with the cuts because he was on the same card as she was.
Did you ask him?
Yeah, he didn't hear anything yet. So.
Well, that's good then. Maybe he's going to get one more fight. I mean, because he did get re-signed, didn't he? Didn't he get re-signed or no?
No.
He's still in
he has no idea. So.
Well, hopefully he gets one more. Anyways, let me get some comments, guys, and then we'll get into the UFC. Vegas 97 preview. Like I said, 13 fights. Really good card, I think. Really solid fight night. Like one of the better fight nights, I think. Marcel, you might know, but your face dropped off. Let me get some comments. Sign Collectibles first in the chat. Glad to have you here, man. I like it, man. What's going on, man? Glad to have you here as well. I think Marcel jumped off, but we'll get him back in a second, guys. Joe, what's up, man? You're always here. We always appreciate you, dude. Craig, what's up, my brother from Ontario? How's it going? Octagon Updates. Glad to have you here, man, as always. Tristan, what's up, man? Yeah, Newfoundland's great, Tristan. First time here. I've been to your neck of the woods, Tristan, twice. I've been to BC twice. I love it. I got to go back. I'm hoping to go maybe next year or something. Like I'm hoping go with James Lynch. That'd be great. So like he lives there, right? I hope I can meet up with him. So that'd be awesome. Yeah, Joe, it's going to be a great week. Thursday, NFL, Chiefs and Ravens, and your Eagles are playing on Friday. You know what's crazy, Marcel? I don't know if you knew this. Like, you watch NFL a little bit, like a little bit of football?
Barely. If it's on, I watch it, but I don't know the rules, kind of. So
no, I was going to say, well, they are actually doing their first game in Brazil this Friday. They're doing a game in Sao Paulo, which is going to be cool. They're going to do the Philadelphia Eagles, which is Joe's team, against the Green Bay Packers. Yeah, we'll talk about contender. To be honest, Tristan, I haven't really. Oh, I did look at it a little bit. Actually, that's not true. Because Gage Young is fighting on it. He's an expectation fighter. So him and Austin Bashi, another expectation fighter, right? So I had to write a preview about them. Yarno, he might be. Marcel, are you? Is he or?
100%. He got the 4-fight contract. He even told me before the fight, an interview. He's like, "This is my last fight on the contract, and I haven't heard anything if they want to." How do you say that? Give me a new one or not? And after the fight, didn't hear either. So.
I mean, honestly, Marcel, he's a bubble guy. I hate to say it because he's your guy, but he's 1-3 in the UFC, right? So he's on the bubble.
He knows that. I don't think he expects to get re-signed, but he just.
The only thing is that he did win fight of the night and beat Stephen Wynn, who's a pretty good prospect. So I mean, he might get one more fight. Daniel, what's up, man? Glad to have you here, dude. Hey, what's up, man? What's going on?
We could do Yarno against Dennis Busukia. They're both.
That's what I'm saying. There's guys he could probably beat on the roster still, and they could be fun fights. So we'll see. I mean, but again, Marcel's grappling is not very good, so that's the problem, right? His striking solid though. Yeah. All right, so let's get into this card, guys. I always ask you this, Marcel, before we break it down. Rate this card out of 10. What would you give this card out of 10? I like this card, but I want to get your thoughts. I can't hear you. Okay, talk. I can't hear you, Marcel. You're on mute, dude.
This cable fucking sucks, dude. Here,
go buy a new one.
I said I would go 7.5, but so we go 9. No, I'm just kidding. 7.5.
Man, I think it's a solid 8 personally. I think it's a good card. I mean, there are some weaker fights. I think like the Petroski Budka fight's not very good, but I think there's some pretty good fights. I think there's a few like sleeper fights that like Santos versus Yizha. That's how you pronounce it, by the way. Yizha. I listened to the pronunciation, Marcel. It's a weird pronunciation, but I think that fight could be really good too. No one's really talking about it. Also, Trevor Peaks on the card, like the guy just mentioned. So I think it's going to be a pretty good card. All right, let's get into it, guys. We'll start with our first fight of the night, work our way up. Use UFCstats.com for the bout order. First fight of the night, Marcel, it's a rebooking from 2 weeks ago, which actually was the last card. And Nathan Fletcher takes on Zygimantas Ramaska. And the odds for this one, they've tightened up a little bit since the first fight because Fletcher did pull, I think, they're saying a medical issue. We don't even know what it was. But Fletcher is favored -130. Ramaska is +110. I want to say you picked Ramaska the first time. I can't remember. Did you?
We didn't talk about that fight.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I added late, but we talked about it afterwards, and I said yes. I picked Ramaska.
There you go.
I like his style, man. It's kind of wild. He didn't got that semifinal against Marvin Santos because he had to pull out because of the doctor took him off the fight. He's a fun fighter, man. I think he's just fun to watch. And with Nathan Fletcher was pretty solid. He actually got a win over Dan Dice in Cage Warriors, if I'm correct. Yeah, he's pretty decent. Paddy's guy from what's that, Next Gen in Liverpool. I think it will be a close fight, but I'm favoring Ramaska like I did last time. Why should I change anything?
Yeah,
the only thing I maybe worry about is that they have to cut weight again 2 weeks after making 145 again, but we'll see. Yeah.
I was kind of surprised they didn't do it at 155. I did double check the class. It is featherweight, like you mentioned. I'll be honest with you guys, I do not have a strong lead on this fight, especially considering it's been rebooked. And it was already kind of like, was it short notice in the first place?
No, I think they already had that book, but they didn't say anything because the semifinal wasn't yet shown on TV,
Right. I don't have a strong lead on this fight at all, to be honest with you guys. I'm leading Fletcher just because I think he's fought slightly better competition.
What's the underdog?
Sure. Your boy Ramaska. So you're getting I was gonna say he's got it fixed, guys. So +110 dog. I think this fight can go either way. Don't blame you at all for picking the dog. I'm not confident either way. I'll just say that, Marcel. So we start off the night with that fight. Now we move on to the fight that I think is going to suck. I think this fight is pretty bad. Andre Petroski takes on Dylan Budka, who I think is one of the most, like, if you want to fall asleep, you should watch this guy fight, I think. I don't know why they signed him. Anyways, Petroski's a huge favorite. -310. Budka +260. The only thing I'll say about this is because Petroski's also a pretty good wrestler, like Budka probably just can't like pull him to the ground and hold him there. Like that fight with Cesar Almeida where he just like held him and he landed one strike, Marcel. How much control time did he have? 6 minutes of control and landed one strike.
It was gassed after that, yeah.
Bro, it was brutal. It was horrible to watch. And even the fight against that Chad Hanekom guy that I think he trains with Duplessis, right? That guy? That fight was shit. Why? I don't know why Dana signed this guy. I do think maybe Dana felt bad for this dude. And listen, at the end of the day, this guy's not making much money. He's on a 10-10 deal. So who am I to say like this dude doesn't deserve to make a living and put food on the table? But I just don't think he's a UFC caliber fighter. And I think this is kind of an odd matchup too. You got a guy who's 0-1, taking a guy in Petroski who's 6-2 and coming off a win. Now, granted, the fight with Josh Rand was shit. It was a very bad fight, but he still won it. So I'm really perplexed by this matchmaking.
Short notice, man. That's what I've heard. I think Budka was supposed to fight somebody else, and Petroski took the fight short notice.
I'll be honest. If Petroski loses, I think he could be cut. I think the loser gets cut. Do you think so?
Yeah.
They're both not very exciting. I know Petroski did have some nice finishes early in his career, but he hasn't got a stoppage in over 2 years. His last 3 wins have been by decision. The last fight with Fran Marcel, that's again, if you want to fight that put you asleep, you can watch that fight and then the Hanekom Budka fight on like repeat, and you fall asleep like very quickly. So, dude, this fight is not good. I'm leading Petroski by decision. I think it's going to be a boring fight, but I think he's the better overall fighter, so I think he wins. What do you think?
I mean, I have nothing much to add, I don't think many people will go for Budka on this one. I'm going Petroski as well. I have nothing against the dude, Budka, but I mean, the only people who go for him probably his training partners and his family, So it's the same with Marotte against Dulgarian, by the way. But, Petroski by decision.
Or the people that he, beat. Because anytime someone beats someone, they're always like, yeah, that guy's going to win his next fight. They always there's no point in asking them. I've never heard someone say, yeah, the other guy will win.
It's with was that Bilal's coach, Louis Taylor, when James asked him about Abus, he's like, yeah, he's going to go on a title run probably.
I saw that.
I understand that, man. I mean, makes you look better, if the guy you beat is better.
Tristan says Azamat Bekov. How do you pronounce that again?
I would say Bekoyev or something. Yeah,
should he be in the UFC? You think he should be more?
I mean, I can name like 100 fighters who should be more in the UFC than Budka.
I know, me too, dude. I really don't want you were surprised when they signed him too, right?
Man, I've been surprised this whole contender series this year, but what they are signing, dude.
You know what's funny? So I haven't been surprised, and we are in the Discord, and I pretty much got all the picks right. Marcel keeps saying I would only sign 2 guys. I would only sign this one guy, and then Dana signs 5 guys.
Because listen, man, in the beginning when they started with contender series, they passed over so much good fighters.
Dude, Chris Curtis got a nasty heel kick or what was it? A spinning
hook kick. Yeah,
and they're like, Dana's like, he's too old. We're not taking him. That was 6 or 7 years ago, and Chris Curtis is top 15 right now, which is crazy.
What about Tan Lee?
Yeah, he also got a good crazy knockout. Didn't he? The head kick or something. Yeah, the first season it's actually it shows completely different. It's more of like a feeder system now. It's like an introduction to these fighters, if anything. But
it's even with Austin Vanderford as well. I think Page was at one leg out of the UFC already, and they were like, "Nah, we're not going to do it." No,
you're 100% right. Okay, let's go to the next fight here. We have, and by the way, guys, sir, I'm gonna have to do the YouTube the thumbnail and the timestamps tomorrow. I'll add that tomorrow. I don't have access to that computer right now. But anyways, we have my girl, Jacqueline Amorim, taking on Vanessa Demopoulos, Marcel. And the odds for this one, Marcel, are pretty lopsided right now. Jacqueline, well, actually, they've went down. So Jacqueline opened at minus 500. She's minus 300 now. Vanessa plus 260. So, yeah, I mean, the minus 500, honestly, was kind of wide. But, at the same time, Marcel, do you think Vanessa can pull another split decision out of thin air in this one again?
Listen, dude, man, Vanessa Demopoulos also now has an equal in the man, and that's Bogdan Grad on the contender series last week. It's coming forward, getting hit more, but still winning the round. It's you always give me shit you hate Vanessa. I don't hate Vanessa.
Let's be honest, it's because I'm Greek and so is she. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but listen, I don't hate her, but she has so much luck with decisions, dude. It's crazy.
She's had 3 in the UFC that are controversial, right?
I think she's fucking 5-1, what she should be 2 and 6 or something, for example. It's crazy. And listen, nothing against her. I mean, she does what she does, and it's not her fault the judges gave it to her, but it's the Marotte fight, that's a horrible scorecard.
That was bad.
I think the Frey. I know you disagree with me on this one. I think she lost the Frey one as well. You know?
I think the Fry one or Fry, right? I think that I
Fry.
thought she lost that one. I did think she beat Ducote though in the last fight. I mean, the strike stats are kind of in Ducote's favor, but
I disagree on that one as well. I only agree on the Maria Oliveira was clean. You know,
that one she definitely won that one.
Yeah, that was clean. But all the others, I'm like, wow, you know. And I saw her interview with James Lynch. It's just like, yeah, the odds makers are against me again. It's like, yeah,
no,
because
she said the matchmakers. She thinks the matchmakers set the odds.
And they probably saw your fights. You know, that's why you were the underdog. You know, with the bookmakers. But dude, listen, man, she's game. We know that she's feisty and she comes to fight. You know, I give her that. That said, I think Jacqueline is way more. How do you say that? It's way better on the ground, for example. You know, I think her cardio looked better last time. You know, remember her first fight against Sam Hughes? She dominated the first round, and then she gassed badly, and Sam won the fight. But she just looked better as of now. I think Jacqueline wins. I'm still not sure if I'm going to pick her by finish or I'm picking her by decision. I'm going all in, man. I'm taking her by finish, by submission. Jacqueline Amorim.
So with Jacqueline, like, obviously looked amazing in LFA, right, coming up, and then has this fight with Sam Hughes where, you know, she basically gassed out after that first round, right? And then I'm like, oh shit, she's a gasser. And I think fight with Corey McKenna, like I did pick her against Ruiz, but the Corey McKenna fight, I'm like, okay, this is probably a fight where she's gonna look good and then she'll end up gassing. And she ended up looking amazing and getting the submission. And also the fight with Ruiz, like Marcel, she was pouring it on for all three rounds. So I don't even think it was a cardio issue. I'm almost thinking it was like a UFC jitters debut thing, which we do see sometimes. And didn't really manage her gas tank well, but I don't think she really has a cardio problem. We'll see in this fight because I think it goes the distance, dude. I think Vanessa's pretty tough, man. I mean, she's very difficult to finish, I would say. She has been submitted before. I think it is possible here. Was it that inverted triangle choke? Was it not with Demopoulos? Was it against Sam Hughes? I can't remember now.
I can't remember either, dude.
I'm gonna double check. I hate getting stuff wrong on here. It was inverted, or is she the one that landed? I can't remember. Oh no, she landed on Sam Hughes. My apologies. Yeah, has she been? No, she's never been subbed. Okay, so yeah, that's what I was thinking. Anyways, like a decision.
She's never been finished, actually.
Yeah, she's never been finished. That's why I'm leaning a decision. She's tough, dude. She's pretty tough. I mean, for all her faults, but really bad takedown defense. More so, look at the takedown defense. Wins it 30%. So she's stuffing one of every three takedowns. Not good enough against Amorim.
She's going to win a split decision again.
I don't think so. I think Amorim definitely wins the first round. I think it could be one of those borderline 10-8 first rounds. Second round, I think she wins. And maybe the third round will be a little closer if Jacqueline can't finish. But I do think like Jacqueline has the finishing upside too. She could get a sub. She could get a ground and pound finish. She has a little bit of power. I just think she's the better fighter. Now, like I said, I do think that minus 500 was a bit wide. So I can't blame people. I really can't blame people for taking a shot on Demopoulos, Marcel, at plus 400, I think it was. But now the line's a little bit back to where it should be at minus 300. I think that's where it should be. I'm not saying there's like crazy value in her, but I do think she wins the fight. And I think she's probably going to win a decision that should go her way this time. And hopefully it's not like a split decision that everyone, especially you, is going to be bitching on Twitter and in the Discord saying, what the fuck, Demopoulos again? That would be crazy if that happened. So, all right. By the way, I don't get this comment. Any thoughts on Shavkat rebuking Alex's claims from last podcast? What was that? What was that about, though?
Yeah.
Oh, about. I thought that.
Yeah. Of course, I understand what he means.
Okay, answer it then, because I'm confused by the question.
I think Alex said that that Bilal wanted to fight in Salt Lake City, but Shavkat didn't want it or something.
Oh yeah, so Shavkat said, yeah.
It's always that guy says something, this guy says something. We don't, at least I don't know what's the real story here. So, yeah.
You always wonder if like they're telling the managers like the truth too sometimes, or if like something gets lost in translation. I don't even know.
It's the same thing with Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev. You know, I don't believe that both guys don't want to fight each other or turn each other down. I think it's a UFC issue, man. That's what I think.
There you go. All right. Thanks for clearing that up, Marcel. Let's go to the next fight here. We have Gabriel Santos taking on Yizha, and I did hear the pronunciation, Marcel. It's Yizha, so that's how you pronounce it. Odds for this one, we have Santos, who we've said is the best 0-2 fighter in the UFC. He's minus 225. Yizha plus 175. having said that, man, have they not matched Gabriel Santos up like tough as hell in the first 3 fights now? Like, I don't think this is an easy fight for him, dude, to be honest with you. I think Yizha is pretty good. He's been on road to UFC 5 times now. Plus, if you want to count that one fight that was in the UFC, which apparently they don't count as a UFC fight, which you told me, even though it wasn't on the UFC card. I know, it's so weird. He lost to Jung Young Lee by split decision. I know Jung Young Lee got knocked out by Hyder Emil, but he's a pretty good fighter. So
I think he actually should have won that fight.
Me too. I thought I did score for him. So, anyways, like the guy's pretty good, and then he's 5-0 otherwise. So again, it's 5-1, but if you count the UFC fight, if you don't count it, it's 5-0. I mean, the guys look good. There's no doubt about it. He's got good ground game, good wrestling. And then Gabriel Santos, like we've talked about him many times, Marcel, best 0-2 fighter in the UFC roster. You know, lost a split decision to Lerone Murphy that I think most of us thought he should have won. And the David Onama fight was dominating that fight. And then, you know, I guess he gassed out. And David Onama's pretty good too, so no shame in that one. But yeah, I mean, the guy's pretty solid at 0-2. I still think like he's a really good fighter. I just think this fight could end up being like a close fight. I would pass on this one, guys. I don't feel confident in this guy. I am going to pick him to win, Gabriel Santos, because, again, I like the guy. I'm high on him, but I don't feel confident, Marcel. What do you think, man?
I actually feel pretty confident, man. I think he's really good. Although, you know, that Lerone Murphy fight wasn't an off day for Lerone Murphy, or is he just as good? You know what I mean? He lost to Onama in a fight he was winning. You know, he got knocked out. But I really like the guy, you know. I think Santos is good. I think he wins by finish as well. You know.
Wow.
Yeah, the Chinese dude is pretty good. He got that win over Li Kai-wen last time. Li Kai-wen, pretty popular guy. But yeah, man, I'm picking Santos. I think he finishes.
You got Yannick in the chat too. What's going on, man? Glad to have you here. All right, let's go to the next fight, guys. Rolling our way through this UFC Vegas 97 preview. Go to the next fight here. It's a fun fight, I think, too. Now, again, another fight being slept on, I think. Felipe dos Santos taking on Andre Lima at flyweight. Fun fight, 2 strikers. Odds for this one, Andre Lima minus 190, Felipe dos Santos plus 165. Yeah, fun fight. I think it's going to be mostly a stand-up fight here. Lima has looked pretty good in the UFC. Obviously had that famous biting fight with Igor Severino. That was a really good fight before the bite. You know, that's the shame. That's a shame, I think, that happened, because it was actually shaping up to be a good fight. And then he won a split decision against Mitch Raposo. But let's be honest, that was Dave Torelli was on crack or something that night. He scored Paulo Costa 49-46 over Strickland, and he had that weird-ass decision in that fight too. So that should have been a clear unanimous decision for him too. Pretty clean striker, 9-0, pretty solid fighter. And then obviously you have his opponent here, Felipe dos Santos, is I think pretty good too. 1-1 in the UFC, lost a fight of the night decision to Manel Kopp, very good fight. And then had Marcel, honestly, I want to say it was kind of a robbery decision in his last fight over Victor Altamirano. Go ahead.
Dude looked better in his loss than he did in his win.
Crazy. He did look better against Manel Kopp, and then I don't think he looked good at all against Victor Altamirano. Got taken down 9 times. That's a concern. I mean, in this fight, I don't expect Lima to shoot, but he does have one takedown in the Severino fight and the Hickson Zenedine fight.
If it works.
It's possible he could try for a takedown here, because I think Dos Santos' takedown defense is bad. You know, I think mostly, though, it's going to be a stand-up fight. I do think DeLima is probably the cleaner striker here. I think he'll win a decision. But I think it's going to be a pretty close fight. So, DeLima by decision. I think the line is pretty much where it should be. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm also on Andre Lima. I think he wins the fight. I think it will be a close fight. I think they're pretty equal, in my opinion. But, I also favor Lima here. Dos Santos, like you said, he didn't look good in my opinion last time against Victor Altamirano. Won a split decision. I think he didn't win the fight, but but if you look at Cap, he looked pretty good. You know, I'm with Lima here. I think it will be a close decision, but I think Lima edges it out.
Yep, and we have the same pick from that fight. And
Colostrum, it's the most difficult one.
I was going to say I had Colostrum though in the chat. Like I pretty much agree with everything he's saying for the most part. All right, let's go to the next fight here, guys. So. We don't really see this too much in the UFC, these massive odds, but we have one of the. I at this point, I'm not sure if it's Chase Sherman versus Alexander Romanov for this fight, but this might be the biggest odds UFC history. Minus 3,000 on Isaac Dulgarian, Brendon Marotte plus 1,300. I mean, I think it's a no-brainer, dude. Like, I mean, this is about the easiest fight you could pick ever. Unless Dulgarian gets injured, I can't see him losing this fight. Like, I think he wins easily. Pretty sure he wins by first round stoppage. Like, I think he gets a takedown, beats the crap out of Marotte, and rights the wrong of the last fight where he got robbed against Christian Rodriguez, dude. Like, I'll stand by that. That was a horrible decision. I think Dulgarian is about as legit as it gets, guys. His ground game is sick. His ground and pound's nasty. He's got submissions. I think he's a really good prospect. And I think the UFC is getting him back on track here against Marotte, who, dude, he's going to lose to McKinney and Dulgarian probably by first round stoppage in his first 2 UFC fights. He lost 20 seconds in his first fight. I think this one probably goes a bit longer, but I don't think it goes past like 2 minutes. I would think like maybe 2 minutes, something like that. I think Dulgarian gets a takedown and ground and pounds him. What do you think, dude?
I think the UFC should be ashamed of themselves for putting this together. That's what I think.
They're just trying to get the guy back on track, I think.
Yeah,
right?
but I mean, you know what I always say, man. Everything above minus 500, you know, in my opinion, shouldn't take place in the UFC unless it's a title fight.
That's for PFL or Bellator, right?
Yeah, listen, man. If it's a title fight and it's like a super dominant champion against a new challenger, then it's okay. You know, that happens.
Yeah.
But this is like just a random fight. You know, it should never be a minus 3,000 favorite. That's like that's what Tabata Ricci was in her LFA debut. You know, for example, that doesn't make fucking sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, I'm taking Dulgarian. I also thought he did very well against Christian Rodriguez last time. And I really like to do it. A great finish from Francis Marshall in his debut in the UFC. Yeah, fun fighter. You know, he got screwed by Full Send, by the way. But
yeah, he did. He did get screwed by them. And no one really talks about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got screwed by them, Marcel.
Yeah, I don't know if he still lives out of his RV or he's in the house now, Dulgarian. But, man, it's a good time for him to try to get a bonus here, I think. I'm picking Dulgarian, obviously. I think he finishes my ground and pound in the first round.
I want to just check his first fight because he didn't get a bonus, but I think he probably should have for that fight too, don't you think? Mm-hmm. First fight?
Yeah.
Looking at that card, there's a lot of finishes. So there was how many finishes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There was 9 finishes on the first card he was on. So I can see why he got passed on because there were so many finishes. But I think in those cases, like UFC should open up the wall and give a little bit more money out, you know, so.
One thing is what's good to mention is that it's for Brendon. It's at featherweight, right? His debut was at lightweight on short notice, but still, you know.
I just think this is a horrible match. I think both his matchups have been horrible. I mean, listen, the guy's in the UFC. He's getting more money than on the regional scene, but yeah, it's not.
I was shocked when I heard that matchup first. You know, I was like, wow.
I was like, why? It's just an easy fight for him. I mean, it should be anyways. Watch him lose. I mean, I'd be shocked. That'd be the biggest upset of all time if he lost, probably.
Yeah, I think Maria Agapova would be happy if it happens, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you know, maybe one day someone will beat that. I don't think it's this fight, though.
No.
Yeah. Klein and Mata is bad. Also, what was the other one? Morgan Charrier versus
AJ Cunningham.
That fight is like huge odds, too. So there's a few of these fights that it's kind of weird because UFC doesn't really typically do these kind of fights, but I don't know. They've been doing them a little bit more lately. I don't really know what to say. It's kind of odd. I don't like it, but it's what it is. All right, let's go to the next fight here. Ryan Superman Spann taking on Ovince St. Preux. I think this is the preliminary card headliner, Marcel, for some reason. So
I was surprised they didn't put this on the main card. Would it be typical UFC?
Watch them switch the main card just to fuck with you. So you have to change the pictures. Watch them do that, seriously. Ryan Spann's favorite, as you expect. He is minus 350. Ovince St. Preux plus 285. Listen, I'm picking Ryan Spann. I wouldn't bet on the guy. I don't trust the guy. Lost 3 straight fights. Low fight IQ. Questionable durability. He's been finished 5 times in the UFC, but there's no doubt that the guy is a ton of power. He has submissions. He's an imposing guy. And OSP's 41, I think? Yeah, he's 40, 42. Dude. No, he's 41. He's 41.
Okay. He looks 42.
don't age the guy. Listen, I'll give him a lot of credit, man. He was a huge underdog against Kennedy and won, but Kennedy's not that good, you know? Like, Ryan Spann is a lot better a fighter. And then if you look at the losses before that, he'd been getting knocked out. I'm pretty sure Ryan Spann knocks him out in this fight. If you bet on this, I would just go with Spann by knockout. I think that's the way
teammates?
Right.
Kennedy and Spann.
At what's it called? Fortis, yeah. I think so, right? Unless they're not trained together anymore, but they have been.
Yeah.
You'd expect that Save comes up with a better game plan this time too, right? So Spann by knockout. What do you think?
Yeah, we're going by a lackluster decision for Ryan Spann. A lot of case grinding, a lot of Raquel Pennington-esque kind of stuff, you know. Decision for Ryan Spann, maybe even a split decision. Who knows if Dave Torelli is scoring again? So, No, I'm going with this decision for Ryan Spann.
Decision, yeah. I think he finishes the fight, man, personally. But anyways, we
Let's
got TJ. We got TJ in the chat. We also got Larry in the chat. Glad to have you guys in the chat. All right, we'll go to the main card. You guys came right at perfect time because we got the main card coming up. We got Rongzhu taking on Chris Padilla Taco. Marcel, one of the better nicknames at lightweight. Odds for this one have Rongzhu minus 275, Padilla plus 200. Yeah, the odds are a little bit like inflated here, I think, because Padilla's not that bad. I know he was a pretty big underdog in his debut against James Yontop, and he then getting a huge upset. Didn't get a bonus too, which was crazy for that upset. You know, Marcel?
Keep the poor, dude.
They love it. They love it. I think Rongzhu's pretty good though. I know he's been in the UFC before. Obviously, he's coming back now. His first time, didn't look great. He was 1-2. I remember I did bet on him against Kazula Vargas and he ended up losing. I was like, oh my God, are you serious? Like, that's a bad loss. That guy was not good, that Vargas guy. Then he looked great against Brandon Jenkins, and then he gets submitted by Bahamanis. They cut him. Since then, he's got 3 wins on road to UFC. He's looked great. I think he's back to where he was before. The guy's pretty solid, I think, Marcel.
Problem was his
power.
weight.
Pardon?
Problem was he missed weight twice back to back. That's probably also why they cut him, I think.
That's true too. I forgot about that. Great point. But I think he's pretty solid. Like, again, I think the odds are a little inflated here against Padilla, who's proven he can win as an underdog. But I got to go with Rongzhu here, man. I liked the guy before. I know he had some ups and downs, but I'm still going to back him here, and I'll pick him to win. I think he probably wins it by TKO, to be honest with you. It's kind of how he wins his fights. He finishes most of them. So probably a ground and pound finish or something. What are you thinking?
This motherfucker cost me a perfect card when he lost to Kazula Vargas. I had all other right, only that one I had wrong.
I was shocked.
I think he became better, man. We saw him at road to UFC. If you look at Chris Padilla, I never expected him to finish James Yontop. Maybe I was a little bit too high on James Yontop. Man, I'm going with Rongzhu. I'm far from convinced because I think Padilla can catch him or whatever, but I'm going with Rongzhu. I'm picking him by decision.
There you go. So we got the same pick here. I'm just looking at the comments. Are you surprised this is the main card opener? Are they trying to promote this Rongzhu guy? Is that what you're thinking?
I think what fight got removed from this card? Because they had 6 before, that went to 5. Which fight got removed from this card?
I can't remember, dude. There's 13.
Oh, Marcus McGee against Zahabi was actually.
That's what it was. That was the opener, right? Yeah. Well, they had to fill it with something. Yeah, there's 13 fights. But yeah, I think I would have went with, honestly, probably Dos Santos Lima, because I think that's going to be a really good fight. But
by the way,
I do think they're all high on this Rongzhu guy. That's my guess.
Bro, fucking UFC. That fight was up for like 2 weeks, and they're gonna put it on the broadcast last week. Like Ayman Zahabi against Marcus McGee.
I had to ask you. I'm like, wait a sec, didn't this get canceled?
Yeah, and Marcus McGee made a clip 3 hours before, like, yeah, my fight is off for this card, and they still show it on the fucking broadcast. What the hell, dude?
So what happened there? So then Zahabi's fighting Pedro Munoz on Edmonton. Who's McGee fighting?
I don't know who McGee is fighting, dude.
Why did they split the fight? I'm just confused why they got rid of the fight unless he's injured. But it doesn't seem like he is. It's kind of odd. Anyways, whatever. Let's go to the next fight here, guys. We have Yanal Ashmouz against Trevor Peak. This should be a good fight. Like, I would imagine this is one of the better fights of the card. Trevor Peak is a slight favorite right now, minus 120. Yanal Ashmouz plus 100. I know a lot of people don't like Trevor Peak because of the sloppiness, but the guy is going to come to fight. He's going to come and stand and trade. He's got huge power. He's got an iron chin. I think this fight's going to be good. And Ashmouz is, 1-1 in the UFC. Huge win over Sam Patterson as an underdog. I did pick him in that fight. And then Chris Duncan, beat him with basically the ground. I would say the ground game, right? So, or not with the ground game. He got takedowns, but he basically outstruck him too. I don't know. Again, the odds are close. I think Ashmouz is kind of this unknown guy. He doesn't have a lot of fights, but has some power. He's probably the more technical guy here. I still think Trevor Peak can knock him out, though, so I don't know why I'm thinking this, but I think he can knock him out. I do know he's training with Dwayne Ludwig now. I'd hope he's going to be a little bit more technical, but hopefully he doesn't take away from what he does, which is just bring the heat. I hope he doesn't go back to the wrestling like the Yaya fight, because that was horrible to watch. It was just like, why is he doing this? I hope he just stands and trades. His takedown defense is bad though. There's a lot not to like about Trevor Peak. His game, he's striking sloppy. His takedown defense is pretty bad. but goddamn, he can bang Marcel, and he's got a good chin. So, yeah, I think it's a striking fight. I think Trevor Peek can catch him and knock him out. I'll lean Peek. Small favorite. I take him to win by knockout.
Okay, yeah, I'm going with Yanal Ashmouz. I think he's way better. He's a way
you
better
click
fighter.
The thing; it's an underdog, so you can click here.
Okay, I think he's a way better all-round fighter. You know, he got injured in the Chris Duncan fight, could barely do anything, still hold his own, and got the decision. Clearly lost that fight. Before that, he knocked out Sam Patterson. I think the guy's pretty solid. You know, I think he trains at K Dojo, right?
Yep.
The same team where Murzakanov is training.
Yep.
I like him a lot, man. I think he's a good fighter. I think he's overall way, like I said, way better than Peek. Peek has the knockout power, but he's much more technical and he's better on the ground as well, I think. So I'm going with Yanal Ashmouz here decision.
There you go. All right. Looking at the comments, people are kind of like I'll split in that fight. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a close fight. Like not super confident either way, but I have to leave Peek. All right, we'll go to the next fight here. I'll be honest, Marcel. This one I'm pretty confident in too. I mean, you talk about fights where I think the odds could be more heavy on this fight. We have Matt Schnell taking on Alessandro Costa, and odds for this one, no Marcel is minus 550. I mean, it's Schnell plus 400. I think he can be minus 1,000 here. I do not trust Matt Schnell's chin anymore at all. I think his chin is gone. He's been knocked out his last two fights. He got destroyed by Sumadarji before somehow pulling I don't know, rabbit out of the hat. I don't know how he won that fight. That was crazy, but the chin is really compromised at this point. He's definitely a skilled guy. I mean, he deserves to be in the UFC. He's very skilled. You know, the submissions are nasty. He's a pretty good striker, but the chin is just absolutely paper at this point. Costa coming off a nasty knockout over Kevin Boreas. That nasty knockout over Flick. He's only lost to Albazi and Urseg in the UFC. I like No quite a bit, Marcel. I got to be honest with you. I think he's one of the more underrated guys in this division. I don't think he's ranked, right? Let me double check. I don't think he is.
No.
There you go. No. Which Schnell ranked? Schnell's 11. Yeah, I think No knocks him out and takes his spot in the rankings. And then he sets him up with a fight against someone like a Bruno Silva next or something like that. Super confident in Costa by knockout. What do you think?
So the crazy thing is, like, Matt Schnell is in the UFC. In 2018, in my opinion, he lost to Naoki Inoue, and he won that fight by split decision. I thought he lost, and he would have been 1-3, and I think he would have been cut by then. Yep. But he's still in the UFC. He has done he's not decent against a lot of guys, but he cannot beat the better guys. Like you said, he's chinny. Costa has power. I think he knocks him out. I'm going first round knockout for Costa here.
I think so too. I'd be shocked. Charles Johnson should be ranked too, I think. I'm just looking at the rank. I don't listen. Cody Durden's a pretty good fighter, but I think Johnson not being ranked above him is surprising. I know Cody beat him, right? I know they did fight. I was gonna say, but since then, Marcel, I think that one guy went one way and the other guys kind of went the other way.
But plus, who else is in the ranking? Maybe
I was gonna say his GIF game is on point, Marcel. When he posted that picture of you, that meme game. The rankings are top 15. I think Tim Elliott's there. Let me double check. Bottom half is like Tim Elliott, Schnell, Ulanbekov, Silva, Almabayev, Durden. Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, flyweight's pretty deep now. Like, I'm not saying these guys shouldn't be ranked. I get it. Head-to-head, he did win, but I would think Johnson wins. But anyways, it's a moot point. Costa's going to take Schnell's spot. Then it's going to bump Schnell down. And then I think Schnell actually probably gets cut if he loses, to be honest with you. There's just too many fighters now in the sport. There's going to be more guys coming in. And I know Schnell, again, he had that one of the best comebacks of all time against Sumadarji, which completely shocked me at the time, but yeah. All right, let's go to the next fight here, guys. We got a fun one here, I would say. Potentially could also be boring. We'll see. Between Steve Garcia and Kyle Nelson. Odds for this one have Steve Garcia minus 210, Nelson plus 180. I'll let you start on this one. I want to hear your thoughts because I think it's an interesting fight. What do you think?
Fun matchup, man. I mean, Steve Garcia comes back quickly after the Sung Woo Choi knockout. He takes it on short notice for Calvin Kattar. Actually, fucking sucks for Kyle Nelson, right? He was supposed to fight somebody in the rankings, and now he's getting Steve Garcia, which is also a very tough opponent. Steve Garcia won his last 4 fights in the UFC. Got that loss over Mahashata in Singapore, but that's all that's like 2 years ago, And Kyle Nelson had some crazy, how do you say that, resurgence of his career, got that draw for Doo Ho Choi. He got lucky there, man, with the headbutt. I thought it wasn't a headbutt or it wasn't on purpose, but whatever. Got the draw. But after that, he won 3 straight, man. I think the Aljo fight was very good. The Padilla fight also was really good, and that was, I think, at Notch UFC last year. That said, I have more how do you say that? I have more confidence in picking Garcia here, man. I think he has the knockout power to put Kyle Nelson away. Although Kyle Nelson's pretty tough, his ground game. I'm going with Garcia. I'm going with the TKO. I think second, third round. But Nelson is tough, man. I'm not going to count him out. You know what I mean? I think it can go both ways.
Yeah, Kyle Nelson was supposed to fight Calvin Kattar in this fight. So the UFC obviously likes what he's been doing. 3 straight wins. He's turned his career around, man. Because again, at one point, Marcel, he could have been caught. He was 1-4, 1-4-1. They could have been like, get out of here. Turned it around. He's looked really good. He's been winning as an underdog too. He's looked great. Steve Garcia's looked amazing too. 4 straight wins by knockout. Yeah, he's 5-2 in the UFC, 5 knockout wins. I think Garcia is a great fighter, and he's fun to watch. Huge knockout power, but I also feel like he's kind of a flawed fighter too, and I'm not sure if I'm buying him as a huge favorite here. Like I've been picking him all his fights, but I'm not sure about this one. I kind of like Kyle Nelson as an underdog, Marcel, plus 180. I'm looking at Nelson. It's not a Canadian bias, trust me, because I never picked this guy, but yeah, I mean, I've liked what he's done lately, guys. I like the way he's looked. I think he's gotten better. I think he's leveled up. I think he's better defensively now. I think his striking's a lot better. His chin is holding up in his fights. He's looking sharper. He's looking cleaner. His defense is better. His striking's better. His wrestling's better. So I think he's just right now the more complete fighter. We'll see, though, because Garcia's looked amazing at 145. He's definitely found the right weight class. I still don't know if I can trust the guy completely. I mean, he's been dropped a bunch. His chin is questionable, too. So he's also taking a short notice. He did fight last month, but or 2 months ago, I guess now was July. But it is worth considering. He did take this fight at short notice. I think he's going to be in decent shape, but he is a guy that struggled a lot with weight cutting. It's something to keep in mind. Either way, man, honestly, like I feel like this fight can go either way. Plus 180, I'm definitely taking a shot on Kyle Nelson. So Kyle Nelson, I don't know if it's a knockout or decision. I think it can go either way, but I'm going to definitely take a shot on this dog here. All right, let me get some comments. We got Tom in the chat. What's going on, man? Glad to have you here. OSP gets finished in round 1. Probably, yeah, I think so. Let's see here. Garcia is the favorite. Yeah, he is the favorite. I mean, I can see why. He's won 4 straight by knockout. I just think Kyle Nelson at this point, guys, like, I wouldn't count him out of fights. Like, he's won 3 straight. The Doo Choi fight was close, too, and he was a big underdog there, too. So he's been beating the odds, and I wouldn't count him out. So Lawler's Gene Silva. Is that booked? Is that what this guy's saying? Is that a fight's happening? All right. Oh, he's just making up fights. Okay, my bad. I see what you guys are doing now. Yeah, Marotte, look, I actually bet Marotte in that fight. I think he was an underdog. I can't remember now, but destroyed him in that fight. And since then, Marotte has not looked good at all, more so. I don't know what happened to him, but yeah, I mean, that was at lightweight. Garcia's obviously back at featherweight, where he's much better suited. He's bounced around. I mean, he fought Joe Warren in Bellator at bantamweight, more so, back in the day. Garcia's been around for a while. Again, I like what he's done. I am a fan of this guy. I think he's a good fighter. I'm just not sure how good he is. I will say this: the winner of this fight, like, absolutely is going to get a top 10 opponent probably next, or top 15 opponent. I mean, Calvin Kattar again was supposed to be actually with Nelson. He got injured. It's unfortunate. By the way, who were you picking, Calvin Kattar or Kyle Nelson? Who were you going to pick in that one?
I'm still going with Kattar, I think.
I was kind of leaning Nelson in that one too. And yeah, Garcia did fight Chepe. Chepe fought like so many guys, like Joe Anderson, Brito, and a bunch of other guys before the UFC. All right, let's go to the next fight here, guys. We have Marcel's girl, Natalia Silva, taking on Jessica Andrade. This is the co-main event. I mean, this could be fight of the night too, obviously. This is an amazing fight. I kind of wish it was 5 rounds. I'll be honest with you. You think so too? Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even main event, just a co-main event 5 rounds. But either way, minus 280 on your girl, Natalia, plus 240 on Andrade. We're going to see how good she is, Marcel. We're going to find out.
Yeah, definitely. That's it. Yeah.
This is the right test for her. Jessica Andrade is one of the best women's fighters of all time, regardless of weight. She's going to be in the Hall of Fame. She's proven time and time again you cannot count her out, because I'll be honest, I didn't pick against her. I didn't pick her in the last 2 fights I picked against her. She destroyed Mackenzie Dern, and then she beat Marina Rodriguez, and it was a split decision. But I thought she won that fight pretty easily. So, I mean, listen, man, she's been around the block. She's fought everyone. She's tough as hell. Huge knockout power. Good wrestling. Good chin. I mean, everything's good about her. Really, like, she only loses to the elite opponents. She's really good, and that's why I love the matchup, because I think Natalia Silva's really good. 5-0. You were on her before anyone, I think. I'll be honest with you. I remember when she fought Jasmine. She was a big underdog in that fight. right? And I was like, who is this girl? And her record, if you look at her record, Marcel, you look at her record, the first like 5 or 6 fights, dude, she was like 2-4 or something in her career. Like she could have retired. You know, she's really turned it around. You watch her fight, and it's like so much skill, the striking, the grappling. She's the total package, dude. I mean, she's got the looks too, as you know, Marcel, as you know, every night before you go to bed. So she's got it all, dude. And I don't think this is a slam dunk for her by any means, because I think Jessica's really going to test her. But I think Natalia wins. And honestly, like, I think she might try to mix in some grappling here too. I think she might go for some takedowns. I think that might be what she does here. Because I just think that Jessica's so dangerous on the feet. Like, why chance it if you don't have to? So, I think Natalia probably wins, but I think she'll make it like a dirtier, uglier fight than some people might think. Because I think a lot of people think she'll just like outstrike her, and it might look like that. But I think it's going to be a bit of a tougher test than that. So I'll take Natalia, but I'll take her to win it by decision, Marcel. What are you thinking, man?
I feel the same way, man. I mean, listen, Jessica's super legit. Obviously, she's a former champion. But our best fights are at 115, in my opinion. She goes now 125.
Yeah, that's someone just asked in the chat, but that's definitely worth mentioning. 100%. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, Natalia has looked good so far, man. Listen, she only had really, she had a difficult first round, I think, against Araujo, last time, but she won second and third. Besides that, she easily beat Andrea Lee 3 rounds. She easily beat Victoria Leonardo, but who doesn't? She had some struggle with Teresa Bleda, I remember, in the first round, but she knocked her out with a spinning back kick. And the Jasmine fight might be one of the best I've seen her, She was really good in that fight. Jasmine was like outstriked, and she was also out-grappled. I think it will be a good fight. I'm going with Silva by decision as well. No finish.
Yeah, I mean, the weight class is definitely worth mentioning. I'm just looking at her record to see what her better wins at flyweight are. It's probably Caitlin Sermonera or whatever. Sermonera. They changed her name, obviously. At the time, she was Chukagian. And then I guess Lauren Murphy. That was actually a really good, clean win by her against Lauren Murphy. And Calvillo. Did she lose her last fight, by the way, in Australia?
I don't know if you know how that went. I'm
going to check right now. I want to see. Because I know she just fought there.
It's next week.
Oh, okay. There you go. I mean, if that girl beats her, I'd imagine she'll be in the UFC, right? Like, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, it's going to be a good fight. I like the fight. Love the fight. Wish it was 5 rounds, though. I just really wish it was. But, let me ask you a question. If Natalia wins, which we're expecting, what do you think's next for her? Like, top 5? I mean, isn't Jessica already top 5? Like,
yeah, I would probably match her up with a Macy Barber or something, if Macy comes back.
Jessica's ranked 4 at strawweight and 6 at flyweight.
Yeah.
And, I'll say this. Usually I hate when they rank him in 2 weight classes, like Rafael Dos Anjos. I hate that he's ranked in 2 weight classes.
Jessica, it's legit.
Or I guess he's not ranked at welterweight now, but Jessica actually has wins at both weight classes.
Yeah.
She has good wins there. So, yeah, I'm okay with that one. Yeah, it should be an interesting fight. By the way, yeah, she's right. Yeah, okay, I see. Okay, so it's going to be a good fight. I like it a lot. All right, let's go to the next fight, guys. We have the main event here. Fun main event. 5 rounds. Welterweights. Sean Brady taking on Gilbert Burns. Sean Brady minus 184. Gilbert Burns plus 159. And I hate spoiling the picks, but last week Alex asked us, so we had to answer him, right? Because it's Alex. But yeah, I mean, we both kind of alluded to our pick. I'm taking Sean Brady here, man. I mean, listen, Gilbert Burns obviously is a really good fighter. He's a warrior, dude. He's had some amazing fights. He's been around forever. He'll fight anyone this way. I don't want to completely count him out here because I think he's still really good. I mean, he fought Jack Dillon Manderlin very close before getting finished late, but he was fighting tooth and nail in that fight. And obviously fought Hamzat close and has some good wins. But I think Brady's really good. I've always liked Sean Brady. I've always thought he's a real deal. And the fight with Bilal completely threw me off because I'm like, what the hell? Like, he got destroyed by Bilal. But now that Bilal's the champ, okay.
Doesn't look that bad now.
No, not at all. Like, the way it happened was not good. Like, finished. Like, Bilal doesn't really finish people, but it doesn't look that bad anymore, dude. I don't think it looks bad at all. So I've always been behind Sean Brady. I think he's solid. I think he's got good striking. I think he's got great ground game. My question for you is more, I guess I think you're picking Brady too, and I think you did mention that. But, like, let's try to think, how does he win this fight? Because I do think he could catch Burns' chin and finish him in 5 rounds, but I also feel like it might go for the full 5 too. I'm kind of leaning a decision, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Okay, same thing.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I think I think we will see a lot of grappling. I think Burns might have success early on, but I think Brady will take at a certain moment. Brady will take over. I think he will be stronger. So yeah, for me, like Sean Burns, Sean Brady, man,
Sean Burns.
Gilbert Brady and Sean Burns. Yeah, Sean Brady. I think he wins. Decision as well. I also feel like we don't see. Listen, man, Gilbert is like very good. He's a super legit black belt BJJ. I don't see Brady submitting him. Maybe TKO, ground and pound is possible, but I think it will go to decision. I think it will be a close fight, but I think Brady will walk away with it.
Let me get some comments here, guys. By the way, the last fight, I forgot to get some comments. Some people like to tell you there. Joe actually liked Andrade by knockout. I'll be honest, I think if Andrade wins, it's probably a knockout too. I would imagine she probably finishes her. Oh, there you go, Marcel Silva's so cute. Marcel knows this.
I don't disagree, dude.
I think you literally said that to me in a WhatsApp message last week. Yeah. I'm really curious about both you guys. Yeah, I mean, Craig, I think it's an interesting fight, but I am leaning Sean Brady in this one. Brady versus Morales. I think, I mean, I don't think Brady would go backwards. Not saying Morales is bad by any means. He's great, but I don't think he would go backwards. He's not wrong. Brady, right now, no top 50 wins, but I'm pretty sure Chiesa was ranked at the time. And I think Gastelum might have been. I'm not 100% sure if he was, but he might have been. Gastelum's been balancing weight classes. I'm pretty sure he was, wasn't he, when he fought him? Brady in his last fight, last year.
Against Gastelum?
Yeah.
Gastelum Brady. Let me see if I see the tail of the tape, because you can see it there. Tail of the tape, Sean Brady 9, Calvin Gastelum 11.
There you go. So he was ranked. So now he's not. I also think it's because Calvin bounces between weight classes. I think that plays a part in it. But yeah, I mean, listen, you guys aren't wrong to bring that up. It's definitely worth noting. But again, I want to say before last week, did Michael Morales have any top 15 wins or no?
No.
And you see how good he is, right? So yeah, it's definitely worth considering. It's considering it's Burns, Burns is solid, man. I mean, he is. I don't like picking against Gilbert Burns because he's very good. But again, he's getting up there. Dude, he's 38 now, Marcel. Yeah. Guys, like he's not super young. Sean Brady's he's 31, so a lot younger, more in his prime. Again, Burns is good, but I think Brady wins. I like him. He likes Burns too. Okay, some of you guys like Burns. Hey, totally fair, man. I mean, like again, the odds they're not wide. I mean, it's minus 180.
Plus, I think Burns great dude. If he wins, it's all good for me. I like both guys a lot. I think Burns. Who doesn't like Gilbert Burns? He seems like a super good dude. He has actually. I've talked to him before. So yeah.
Oh, I really agree. Yeah, I mean, you guys are making some good points. Hey man, if you don't want to pick Brady, that's totally fine. I mean, we're not forcing you to pick him. We're giving our pick, but it sounds like you like Burns. Hey, you're getting plus money on Gilbert Burns. I mean, take a shot on him. Then I'm seeing plus 159. I mean, I can see plus 160 out there. You're getting pretty good odds on him. We got a couple more comments before we go to the next card. Brady and Silva parlay.
Yeah, why not?
I think it's probably close to even money if I had to guess. Let me double check. I mean, it's pretty close to it. Yeah, I'd imagine it gets you there. All right, let's go recap the card. I mean, overall, man, I like this card a lot. Like, again, I said 8 out of 10, then going through it again, I still feel the same way. You feel the same, or you like it?
Yeah, I'll start with that one.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's a good card.
By the way, I forgot to get this question. Do you think Burns is about 2 more? I think he did say that, right? Burns said that. We'll see. I mean, depends how much damage he takes. And someone did mention the Jack Dale and Atlanta fight. Again, he was looking good in that fight and then got destroyed at the end. He took a lot of damage. I mean, if he gets destroyed here again, gets knocked out, which I don't think happens, but it could. Maybe that 2 fights become 1 fight. I mean, I still think Burns beats a lot of guys, though. I think he's good. It's just I've always liked Sean Brady, Marcel. I've always thought he was like a really legit guy. So, yeah. All right. What was the last? I think that's what I was going to say about that. Yeah, I mean, I think overall it's a good card. All right, let's go to Contender Series, Marcel. We'll switch our gears here. How about that? Actually, right before we go, I'll just recap the
By the way,
that
creep isn't there anymore, right? With the Contender Series, like, Dana White's Contender Series by ZipRecruiter.
Oh God. By the way, the burns of Hamza. I mean, he took damage in that fight too, and yeah, I mean that was a crazy fight. Great fight, and I mean, if he shows up in that form, he could definitely win this fight. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. All right, let's see here. For picks, my dog pick on this card was Kyle Nelson, and Marcel took Yanal Ashmouz and Zygimantas Ramaska. So chalky card for us here. I do think there's probably a couple upsets here, guys. We've kind of named some fights that have some upset potential, but you also have some huge favorites on this card too. So I think overall more chalky card than usual, but there's definitely a few fights that could be sketch. So definitely pick your spots when it comes to bets. That's all I would say. All right, let's go to Contender Series, Marcel. And we'll recap the last card because I didn't get a chance to talk to you. Let's go. I'll pull up Tapology really quick. 1 second, guys. So yeah, we watched this card on Tuesday. Dana White had a really interesting press conference with the media, especially with Kevin Iole afterwards, which no one expected, I don't think.
No.
Let's go through the contracts first, and then we can talk about what Dana said. Main event, Andre Pulev defeats Liam Anderson. Huge upset, according to the odds anyways. I did pick up Pulev, by the way, but big upset there. And he got a contract. You didn't like this contract?
I'm okay with it,
Dana was really hyping this guy up. He kept saying like how good his fight IQ was and everything. Like, I think this guy's decent. We'll see how he looks in the UFC, but I don't know. I mean, I think he's kind of mid, but I would have given him a deal. Bogdan Grad, I don't think won this fight against Michael Oswell. They're saying Oswell's going to get a short notice fight in the UFC whenever Sean Shelby needs someone. So I think he deserves it because I think he won the fight. I thought Oswell won the fight. How did you score it?
Grad got the Leonard Garcia decision.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think you only could score the second round maybe for Grad, but I actually had more lean. When I heard 30-27 from Montalvo, I thought Oswell had it. You know what I mean?
I thought I was shocked because he's a Fury FC guy, right? So I'm like, okay, he's going to score for him because Jacob's a Fury FC ref.
I mean, in my opinion, he won the first and third round clearly. In my opinion, the second round was like 50-50. So
yeah, I thought he won too. Again, he didn't get a contract technically, but Dana said they're going to bring him in on short notice. So they'll both get in the UFC. So that's through those two fights, we had 3 deals, probably. Well, 2, and then I guess a third. And then Marco Tulio gets a win over Matthew Duclos, who I don't think is very good, gets a contract. Again, I feel like this was the same as that Bruno Lopez guy, Marcel, where the finish saved his chance of getting a contract. Do you agree?
Oh, definitely, man. I think the finish saved it because it didn't look amazing, but that finish was crazy, So,
it was a sick finish, dude. Spinning back kick, nasty. Again, Duclos is not good. So, I mean, if you're getting knocked out in Bellator, like, it's not a good look against some random guy, right? I mean, I was like, I don't even understand this fight. But, Tulio, I think, could be one of those guys that goes like 0-2 and gets cut. I don't think he's going to have much success in the UFC. I could be wrong, but what do you think? Do you think he's going to be okay or no?
Well, I think he would just be like, how do you say that? Just one of the guys, nothing special in my opinion.
They could do him and Pulev too. They could do that fight. I mean, in the UFC potentially. Malcolm Wellmaker, I mean, this was a no-brainer. This was a nasty knockout. Been hearing a lot about this guy for a while. 8-0 now, Marcel. I think this guy's good. I think he's actually legit. I know you like this performance.
Yeah, definitely, man. I think he looked really good. He totally read him. You know what I mean? He was reading how he fought, and then when he had his timing, he knocked him out. Man, it was beautiful. It was one of the best finishes I've seen so far this season. It's only his third week, but yeah, it was amazing, man. It was
picture perfect pinpoint, like right overhand right hook. It was a weird punch, but nasty as hell. And yeah, I mean, it was just folded the dude, and it was an obvious contract. Anton, what's up, man? Glad to have you here, dude. We're always happy to have you here in the chat. And then the first fight of the night, which was extremely controversial decision in my opinion, Nick Piccinini defeats Jack Duffy by split decision. I don't agree with this one at all. I know you didn't either. No one really did. I thought Duffy clearly won the fight. This was a terrible decision. I mean, the stats showed that he outstruck him. I mean, if you just use your eyes, you can see it. So, go ahead.
I thought Duffy won, but I thought he didn't fight smart. You know what I mean? He was absolutely beating him the fuck up in the first round, with his kicks. And then out of nowhere, I know, listen, man, I think Preux in the chat said in the Discord, like, he always goes for takedowns in his fights normally. But if you're beating somebody up on the feet, why you go for a takedown when you know the guy you're fighting is good in wrestling, So he pretty much made it difficult for himself, in my opinion. And he lost the second round. And the third round, I think he did more than enough damage to win the round. But still, he put himself in positions where he shouldn't have put him, And it cost him the fight. And that's why I said I didn't have any compassion, because he did it to himself, At the same time, I think he won the fight, So I agree with Dana. Let's do the rematch. I think Nick didn't really like it at all. But when Dana said, let's do the rematch, he was looking like, dude, do I have to get the short notice fight again? But
yeah. They're going to get, I think, 6 weeks or something, so they have some time. It'll be in October. Piccinini was a huge favorite here. I mean, I could see him being favored again, honestly, because of the wrestling, but I don't think I could pick him based on this fight. I would probably pick Duffy.
Did you see Keith Peterson's face when the fight started and the Duffy guy was on his head?
Yeah, what did you think about that? That was weird, right? And even between the corners, in between rounds, super weird, right?
Yeah, but then I saw that he was like a teammate of Peyton Talbot, so that...
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to say anything, but yeah. Just type in Peyton,
I know what you're referring to.
Peyton Talbot vape. Just go look at the video, guys. You'll see.
Let's note.
Just the last thing I want to mention, though, like the whole... is this a conversation or an argument? I don't even know what it was. Back and forth, I guess, between Dana and
I loved it.
The media. Yeah, so let's be honest, guys. The media never pushes back against Dana. You also had a guy say, Dana, thank you for tonight. Like, man, I know that you hate that so much, right? When they say thank you, Dana, thank you for the event. It bothers you
because it's not really genuine, It's just like to suck up. That's why I hate it, It's not like a fan goes to Dana and it's like, thank you, man, for this event, putting this in my city. That's genuine. But this guy's like, thank you, Dana.
I know you fucking hate it, dude.
So annoying, dude.
I know you hate it. Anyways, it was funny, but I mean, I was shocked. Kevin Aioli and John Morgan too. Give him both of them. Two of the guys that are kind of like Dana's guys. Let's be honest. They've always, John not as much, but Kevin has been really pro UFC, as you know. Dana always gives him scoops. He does the power slap stuff for him. And he's kind of like they have a weird relationship, don't you think, in a way? Like they have this like really close relationship, and then all of a sudden Kevin's the one fighting back against him against the John Jones thing. I was shocked, dude. And I mean, not that it matters, but like I think a lot of media members, because I saw a lot of people talk about it, a lot of people gain a lot of respect for Kevin for actually kind of fighting back against Dana, dude. Including you.
Yeah. What he said, first he's like, does John have photos of you?
I know, I couldn't believe he said that.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? But and then later when Dana was trying to scream again, he's like, yeah, but that's what you always do. When we try to make a point, you go and scream over us.
Bro, that was amazing. I was like, holy shit. I where's that Michael Jackson popcorn gif, Marcel, where he's like eating the popcorn? That was me. I was like, holy shit. Like I just assumed, like, I'll just say this right now. Yeah. If this wasn't Kevin, I only this was like a random media member at some random city, just say the UFC, Kentucky or something. That guy is never getting credentials again, right? Would you think?
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, there was the guy, was it in England, where he's asking, hey, Dana, like there was a Palestine flag, and Dana got super pissed, right?
Yeah, that was the end of the presser, yeah.
That dude, I don't think he's getting credentials again.
You were like
just saying this, like these are actual legit questions, but it's the UFC's a private company. They do not have to let you in their event. They can say no, fuck you. We're not bringing you here. So
you're like just lose it.
But you knew you loved it though. The whole back and forth.
Everybody did, man. Who I talked to, everybody did. Because it's like Dana is putting up some kind of a thing like, oh, this and that, and everybody listen. If I ask my friends, even who don't watch like every UFC event, what is more interesting to you, Jones against Stipe or Jones against Aspinall? Everybody says Jones against Aspinall because Jones against Stipe is just too late, Nobody knows where Stipe is right now. And listen, I have all respect in the world for the dude, He's been like the most successful champion in UFC history in the heavyweight division if you look at what he did. But it's not the time, in my opinion. We're probably still going to get that fight in November. Let's hope we're getting it in November, because if it doesn't happen in November, let's see if Dana tries to get it in July next year. But we don't need to have that again. And I understand Aspinall, man. Aspinall's now going like a different road. First he was praising John, now he's kind of like talking shit about John. I don't think that's the right way either, because I don't think... And Dana's full of shit if he thinks that John is definitely going to fight Aspinall after this fight,
Right. Why, by the way, why is this fight not announced yet? Like, I don't... What's the wait?
The thing is, what I think they want to do is like Dana is really into those announcements with the full card at once, So he just wants to say the full pay-per-view. So they probably have 1 or 2 fights not booked yet for the full pay-per-view. So they're probably waiting on that. But that's why they get mad when somebody else is posting about it.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay. All right, let me quickly look at some comments. We had he's getting another shot in Contender, so kind of getting a shot, but
just like Torres Finney.
Our boy Antoine. Yeah, Torres Finney's getting another shot. I'm kind of happy for him though.
Me too.
Cody Haddon is great. I mean, I think he looked like the best.
He was the best guy last week.
Last week, yeah, he looked really legit. What was the other comment here? Duffy says okay, well, I mean, if why is no one else doing this then in the history of combat sports? Why is he the only guy that's ever did this?
Well, maybe that's why Marotte did that again. No, left mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the handstand? Yeah. Oh, my God. Don't even bring it up in this podcast. I'm just joking. No, but, yeah. All right, one sec. All right, let's go to – there's another question here. Antoine, the prelims – this card here looked good. You did miss the prelim preview, Antoine. Go back and listen. Vacation's been great. Again, go back and listen. I did talk about it a little bit. Not that anyone cares. They're here to listen to the breakdowns here. But yeah, it's been a good vacation. I'm going back tomorrow, but I've been away for 7 days already. So it's been awesome, man. I've had a great time. I mean, I really have. Needed to recharge the batteries, Marshall. I'll just say that. So nice to get away. And then we got Beercha in the chat. What's up? There he is, Marcel, your guy.
What's up, man?
Whaley Tatiana makes sense for MSG, doesn't it? For the co-main, doesn't it make sense?
Listen, if I was the UFC, I'd put Whaley in Macau to defend her title. That's what I would do.
I think they want Song Yudong, don't they, for the main event?
Yeah, but why not Whaley?
Who do you think Song Yudong would fight though in that Cheeto Vera rematch?
Dude, Henry Cejudo, but Henry's not going to fight on the fight night.
Maybe a Cheeto rematch. I could see that being the fight.
Yeah, I don't need to see it, but yeah, it can be.
Yeah. Do you guys think Khalil versus Pereira indicates Alex going to heavyweight to fight? Maybe. It's weird. I mean, maybe, but it's just like that fight just doesn't really make sense.
It's just a stupid fight. Sorry.
Marcel hates it so much. All right, let's go to the next card, guys. We're going to preview this week's Contender Series. I do want to talk about this with you guys. I'm just going to ask you the fights, Marcel. We won't get it too in depth, but just want to go through the fights one by one. Killen Salkilid. It's a weird last name. Sorry.
Oh man, I'm going to have many troubles to spell that on Tuesday.
It's a tough one, dude. Against Gage Young, Kulin at -225, Gage Young +185. Listen, I watched the tape because I had to break it down for expectation. They asked me to. Like, Kulin's definitely a good wrestler, but I also think Gage Young pretty good wrestling and then good striking. Mm-hmm. I think Gage Young's a live dog here. I've actually been pretty good at. There's only been a few dogs, but we picked the Rami Hamed guy and I did pick Puliev, so. I've been okay with these dogs. I think Gage Young can win this fight as a dog. I don't know what you think, but I think he can.
I agree with you there. Yeah.
There you go. So we have a guy that you could consider as a dog. Again, these are not, full, crazy breakdowns because, let's be honest, these guys don't have the same body work the UFC fighters do, but I don't
like to brag, but we've been doing pretty solid with the Contender Series picks this year, dude.
You know what, man? We've been good. I mean, let's be fair. Most of the favorites are won, but the few dogs that have won, we did pick them. Mm-hmm. Although, again, Grod won. I don't think he won, but he still won, right? So
yeah.
That's the funny thing. All right. Next fight here, we got Unesi Dubin against Shannon Clark, Canadian fighter. Clark -500, Dubin +375. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Clark wins this fight and gets a UFC contract. What do you think?
I'm not sure, man. I'm not really how do you say that? I'm not really high on Clark at all, That's an MMA Barbie.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Dubin can do work, but probably Clark as well. Yeah.
Hey, if you like Dubin, +400. We have seen some big upsets on Contender. Again, these are not proven fighters, so
I like Dubin, but it's more to do with her Instagram page than her fighting style. So
there you go.
No, I think Clark wins.
Pato's asking about Earl by Rubeski, but Rumbeski, that's how you pronounce it. we'll save it from that. We're gonna do a 10-minute, 15-minute podcast after this, just to do fight announcements because there was a bunch. I looked at your page last night. I was like, holy shit, Marcel's been putting in the overtime here. All right, next fight here we got Austin Bashi taking Dorian Ramos, and this is or is it Ramos? I guess because he's not Brazilian, is he?
Yeah.
Is he Brazilian or not?
No, not the
American. All right, Ramos. It's not like Ricardo Ramos. He took it on super short notice.
He was supposed to fight the Tommy McMillan dude, the training partner of Sean O'Malley, right?
Bashi's minus 500. This guy, Ramos, plus 275. I think Bashi wins against a contract. What do you think?
He's probably one of the biggest talents on this year's Contender Series, so yeah.
I think he could have been signed without a fight with Contender. I think he's that good. So.
And he's crazy, man. He actually took an extra fight before the Contender Series when he already was actually booked on the Contender Series. Or going to be booked.
I think he saw, again, I've been covering Spectation Sports. We've been covering Austin's fights, and he's solid. Next up, we got Will Curry against Jordan Santos. Again, I don't know if I got the first name right, but I think it's Jordan.
It's Jordan.
Or Jordan Ribeiro. I'm looking at on fight odds. Anyways, Will Curry's minus 400. Santos plus 300. I think Curry wins. I mean, he's a pretty good prospect, right?
Yeah, you would normally say definitely. I think Will Curry comes from Cage Warriors, right? But he lost there to
Mick Stanton.
No,
and
I
Duncan too.
Christian Leroy Duncan.
He lost to Mick Stanton too. He's not.
Yeah, that's
great,
the most recent loss. Yeah, true. I would say Curry, but it's like Curry, when I saw him fight against Stanton, I was like, what the hell, dude? I expected more, so I think Santos has an opportunity to win, but I would go Curry here.
There you go. All right, and then last fight here, Igor Cavalcante against Seokyoung Go, and Igor minus 275, Go plus 215. What do you think of this one?
Ko is the South Korean guy, right? I'm not really familiar with him, I gotta say, man, because I haven't seen a lot of his fights. I think the Igor Cavalcante fight is he's the favorite, and I've seen more of his fights, and he's like a real finisher, man. So the thing for me here is like I think he has basically you should check it out. I think he has basically like all finishes in the first round, maybe except
he does. I'm looking at it right now, like first minute basically. Yeah.
So I want to see how it goes if the fight goes in the later rounds. Will Igor still be as good as in the first round? So
I think this fight could be decent. Honestly, I think it could be a decent fight. So overall, I think a decent card. I can't give my pick on this one yet. I am looking forward to talking about this fight next week, though. The O'Malley-Marotte fight.
It's much difficult.
I'm still thinking about it too, to be honest with you. I am
me too.
Yeah, Igor's interesting prospect. Okay, last thing we're going to talk about here, Bellator San Diego, Marcel. Let's go through this really quickly. I'm going to pull it up. Again, Marcel, just give me your quick thoughts. Marcel used to be like the Bellator's number one guy, and now I'm like asking Marcel, and he's like, there's a Bellator card? Dude, they have the worst promotion, don't you think?
It's watered down since they merged with PFL, or they got bought by PFL. It's like it's like, listen, and I like Bellator, don't get me wrong, but it's like you're champion of Bellator. What are you? You know what I mean? It's like PFL is bigger than you, UFC's bigger than you.
I don't understand having Bellator anymore. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, what's the point of having the same promotion where the fighters go between them and they have different belts? It's fucking weird. I don't get it. Anyways, Usman Nurmagomedov against Alexander Shabali. I don't think the winner's getting $1 million now, right?
I don't think so. No.
That's bullshit, dude. That is really bullshit. Anyways, Usman's minus 450, Shabali plus 350. I know Shabali's great, but I have to go with Usman, Marcel. I have to.
Might be an upset here, man. I think
so, eh?
Yeah, man. I mean, if you could go with the dog pick here, I think. But it's I don't know if I would, but there's definitely a chance.
Lorenz Larkin against Levin Shokali, and Gabriel, our boy Zach. A shout out, Marcel. I don't know if you saw his interview, but Lorenz said he's going to get a title shot if he wins this fight at welterweight. So Lorenz minus 140, Shokali plus 110. I gotta be honest with you, I am a huge Lorenz Larkin fan. I don't know if you are too. I've always liked Lorenz Larkin. I think he is one of the most underrated guys in this division. I loved him in the UFC. I loved him in Strikeforce. I don't really understand why the UFC let him go. I guess he got a good contract from Bellator, I guess. I mean, I was shocked there because he beat Masvidal and Magny and Ponzinibbio. It was very odd. But, let me check his Bellator record. He lost his first two fights, and then since then, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Won 8 of his last 9. So
he beat Lawler on Strikeforce, right?
He did. Dude, listen, the guy's solid. I know Chokoli, obviously, one of these Georgian guys that are pretty solid. He's on a nice win streak. Had that nasty knockout over Saba Homasi with the front kick. He's pretty good, Marcel, but I think Lorenz knocks him out. I really do. What do you think?
I feel the same way, man. I always liked Lorenz Larkin. I'm not as much of a big fan as you were. I didn't know you were such a big fan.
I'm a huge fan. I like Larkin a lot. I'm a Strikeforce market. I think Strikeforce was one, and we've talked about this off. Strikeforce is one of the best promotions of all time. And I don't blame the UFC for buying them out, just like they did with Pride, Marcel. They had to do it, right? Right when Strikeforce was having all this momentum, the UFC's like, "Yeah, we're buying you out."
I'm a big fan of Lyle Beerbaum.
Lyle Beer, fancy pants, dude.
Yeah, do you remember him?
He didn't fight in the UFC, did he? I don't think he did. Did he?
He was in Strikeforce, I think. He was Strikeforce. That's why I said Lyle.
Yeah, I think he may find World Series of Fighting after. I think.
Yeah.
Larkin's good, man. What's up, Eben? Glad to have you here, man. Oh, by the way, if Burrs loses, do they feed him Michael Morales? Possibly. I mean, that's a possible fight they could make.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to the Bellator card. Douglas Lima against Aaron Jeffrey. Fun fight here, Marcel. Jeffrey minus 145. Yeah, Lima plus 115. You like Lima as a dog, eh?
Yeah, I like him. I underestimated him
Jeffrey.
way too many times.
I think Jeffrey pushes against the fence, dude, and holds him there. That's what I think.
Okay.
But we'll see. Again, Lima's another one of my all-time favorites that never made it to the UFC, right? He's got to be one of the better fighters who never made it to the UFC.
I agree.
In his prime, dude, he was so much fun to watch. I saw him fight live once against Ben Saunders. He knocked Ben Saunders out. Killer B, one of your guys back in the day, Marcel. Killer B.
Killer B, Ben Saunders. Yeah, he
was great. Yancy Medeiros against Jorah Ivazian. Yancy Jorah is a huge favorite, minus 100. Yancy plus 300. I was gonna say, I don't think I could pick Yancy at this point in his career.
Same.
Yeah. Sumiko Naba, I think she's a favorite. Minus 155 against Mackenzie Stiller. I don't know too much about Mackenzie, but Sumiko, I know that last night was close, but I know they love her in Bellator, right?
Bro, the only legit person Sumiko beat actually is like Vita Ortega,
Yeah.
And it's like they match her up because they like her and they think she looks good. And she does, but that's why she got some gimme fights, in my opinion. She wins.
The last fight, dude, she probably should have lost that fight, though, right?
Yeah, and that was against like Sarai Orozco, who was like, she's not, I won't say she's bad, but she's also not amazing,
Yeah, agreed. Jordan Newman, I'm assuming he's a huge favorite here. Oh, he's actually the dog. Okay, Aliev is the favorite here against Newman.
Yeah, Aliev's good, man.
Wow. Okay, I don't know much about this guy, I'll be honest. Let me see here. He beat the Sean Connor Fallon guy. That guy's not that good, though. He's another guy that I'm pretty sure fought on Spectation. I remember him. Let me see here. He fought... Yeah, I remember covering this guy at some point. But anyways, I don't think he's that good, dude. And
it kind of sounds weird when you say I covered this guy. It's like, with what?
Yeah, I know. It sounds horrible. No, but okay, so Spectation, obviously, if you guys don't know, it's like a regional MMA promotion. So he's supposed to fight... I can't remember if I did, actually. I thought I did, anyways. Yeah, I covered him. No, I remember writing about him, I think, at one point. But anyways, yeah, I guess Aliev. I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't remember the fights. And he hasn't fought in 2 years, dude. So he's supposed to fight Austin Vanderford. The fight got canceled, and Anthony Adams. That fight got canceled. Okay, if you're saying he's good, I believe. But I always thought Newman was like a really good prospect. He's never lost yet. He's one of these wrestler guys, not human. I don't know, man. I mean, these odds seem off to me. I mean, this guy is a great wrestler. He's finished almost all of his fights. I don't know if you're saying Aliev is that good, then I guess he could win. But I always thought that Newman was pretty good. So
I mean, you can go with Newman, man. I'm going with Aliev.
No, I don't know enough about Aliev. I'm just like, these are not like super like tight predictions like the UFC, which I have no problem with people tracking. He's like, you want to track my Bellator picks? Probably not that great because I don't care about it as much. Anyways, Masakui Kakuri against Herman Tirado. Again, Kakuri minus 450. Tirado was not that good, plus 350. I'm guessing Kakuri will win the fight, right?
Probably my dad will be pissed. I picked that dude, but yeah, because my dad's name's Herman. So
there you go. don't tell him. Bryce Meredith, yeah, he's minus 650 again. One of these wrestlers against John Makuloi. It's a weird last name. Anyways, Meredith obviously wins this fight.
Yeah.
And then Josh Hockett against Sean Rose. Josh Hockett, minus 800 from one of these big prospects. He should win. And then Alicia Cortez against Ashley Thiner. She's not related to Tracy, is she?
I don't think so. I think Tracy only had brothers.
Yeah, I think so too. Anyways, I'll be honest, I don't know anything about her. But she fought for Bellator in 2015 as an amateur on the card with, who was on this card? Lee McGeary and Tito Ortiz. Man, I haven't heard that Lee McGeary guy's name in so long. That's crazy, eh?
Yeah, he wasn't he the champion also?
Yeah, dude. He submitted Tito with that inverted triangle choke on that.
Yeah.
Card. That's wild. That's a long ago he fought.
But he was an older guy, I remember, right?
He was. All right. Anyways, that's going to be it for that. We went 120 on this podcast, so went overtime for you guys, but no problem doing that, Marcel. Yeah, it was a lot of fun talking about the fights with you guys. Anything else you want to say, Marcel, before we get out of here? Because we are going to do a quick fight announcement, UFC fight news and fight announcements podcast. But anything else you want to say, dude? Or
yeah, I'd say come the fuck back for the second podcast in a few minutes, guys. That's what I'd say.
We're going to set it up here, guys. I'm going to do a quick podcast with UFC news and fight announcements. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, obviously, talking about the fights with you, Marcel. Always love talking fights with my guy, Marcel. And it's always good. But yeah, just give us a second, guys. We'll tweet it out. And yeah, I really appreciate everyone that joined in today. We had a good showing here in the chat, Marcel. Not everyone agreed with our picks, but that's totally fine. I mean, you don't have to.
That's good, man.
I actually think it's a good thing, to be honest with you. I don't want to see people just being like, yeah, you guys are right about this. Not that people are, but, it's better when, we get some, dissension. I think that's always good. It makes you think. And I think that the UFC is such a good promotion that, you need to think about your fights a little bit more than just, maybe a PFL where you can just be like, yeah, this guy's going to win, or a Bellator on this card. So, all right, guys, we'll be back in a second if you want to join us for the UFC news and fight announcements podcast. And if not, that's totally fine. We'll be back next week for the UFC Vegas 97 recap and the Noche UFC 306 preview. I can't wait to talk about that, Marcel. It's going to be awesome. So give us a minute here, guys. We'll do some fight announcements. And if not, we'll see you guys next week. But the last question here through Antoine. Does Brady have potential to be a champ? I always thought he did. After losing Bilal, I'm not sure, but now Bilal's a champ, maybe, because maybe it's just one of those fights where he lost and he's going to get better from it. I don't know. It's hard to say at this point. What do you think?
You have to repeat because somebody went in here.
Does Brady have a champ, the potential to be a champ? Sean Brady.
Yeah, I think so. I said it last time as well, so I think he has. But we'll have to see, man. It's hard to say right now.
That's what I said. All right. I'll send you the link, Marcel, for the new one, and we'll tweet it out in a sec, guys. Thanks again for joining us. Talk to you guys soon. If not, we'll see you